Hey y'all, what's up? It's Bianca back with another guitar lesson. Today we will be learning some techniques to help you beginners out there play bar chords. I know as a beginner it's very frustrating learning how to play bar chords because they're not very beginner friendly. In this video we will actually be learning mainly one bar chord. It is one of the most beginner friendly bar chords out there, and it's the one that I recommend that you as a beginner start with because again it is one of the easier ones. I do also want to make a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm not a professional guitarist. I'm not a professional guitar teacher, so these are some of the things that I have found most effective for me in my guitar journey in learning bar chords, and I'm hoping that you will find them effective as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we will be covering the B minor bar chord in this video. So if you know the A minor open chord, you already know most of the position for the B minor. You would move this position down 2 frets. So now you're starting on the 3rd fret, and that is half of the B minor chord. But you would actually change the fingering and what fingers you use. So you would just switch it like that, and then you would take your pointer finger and bar from the 5th string down, which is the A string down, and the 6th string you don't play. So it sounds like this. And that is your B minor chord. Now, you can play it in the same position. You just don't bar it, so you leave it like that. You're not pressing down on all the strings. It does not sound as pretty or as full, but that is a way to kind of help your hand get the muscle memory down, and that you can use that to help build your way up to the bar chord. So we are actually going to take the chord progression A major to B minor to G major to D major, and we're going to use that open version of B minor to help us kind of build up to playing the B minor chord. And we're going to be using the strumming pattern down, down, up, down, up. Alright, so let's get started. It doesn't sound as pretty as the actual B minor chord, and that's totally okay. It's a great place to start. Next, I recommend that you use your capo. So what your capo does is it pushes down on all the strings already, so it creates less pressure for your finger. You don't have to push down on the strings as hard when you're barring the chord, and it'll help your hand build up that muscle memory without really hurting your finger, without having to push down on the strings as hard as you would if you didn't have a capo. Now if you don't have a capo, I do recommend getting one. I will put a link in the description box so you can go ahead and purchase one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the capo on the 4th fret. That's a good place to start. We're going to go through that chord progression again, but instead of playing the open version, we are going to play the full bar chord. So A major, once you feel you've mastered it on the 4th fret, move it up to the 3rd fret and do it again. Alright, and again, once you've mastered it on the 3rd fret, move it up to the 2nd fret and do it again. And same goes once you've mastered it on the 2nd fret, move it to the 1st fret until you can play it without the capo at all. My last tip for you is to just do the bar chord. If you're playing through a song, just do it. I know that kind of seems like, well, Bianca, if I could do it, I wouldn't be watching this video. But the reason that helps is it's building up your muscle memory, and it's building up the strength in your finger. While it may not sound perfect at first, over time it'll start to sound better and better. This is actually the tip that I have found most effective for myself, and it has made learning bar chords a little easier for me as well. So going through the motions, it may sound like this at first. Now you may have noticed that you barely even heard the B minor chord. It was mostly muted, and that's totally fine, but you're still building the position with your hand, which is creating the muscle memory, and over time it'll start to sound a little better. That time you heard more of the chord. It wasn't perfect, but it was there, so that means you're starting to build up the strength in your finger to push down on the strings, and finally, eventually, it'll sound like this. That sounded a lot better than the first time I played it. Over time, doing that, you'll build up that muscle memory in your hand, which is what you need to be able to play the bar chord and to switch to it smoothly. And it'll build up that strength in your finger, which you need to play the bar chord. Another tip for you, when you're playing a bar chord, don't push down with the front of your finger, push down with the side of your finger. This side is more muscle and bone rather than just straight up like squishy. You want to play with the harder part of your finger. Again, I recommend starting with the B minor chord, starting with chords like F major or F minor, F sharp minor. Those are harder bar chords. Those are way more difficult. It'll be a lot harder for you. You can apply all of these techniques to any other bar chord that you may be learning at the time, but again, I recommend starting with this B minor chord because it is one of the easier bar chords to learn as a beginner. And that is all I have for you for this video. I hope it helped you out. If it did, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and let me know down in the comments below what other beginner guitar lessons like this that you would like to see on my channel. And again, always feel free to comment below what songs you'd like to learn because I love teaching song tutorials. Bye guys, see you next time.